Okay, welcome back. We're about to paint. Straight up paint, son. I'm gonna paint this Batman. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and go and see if this panel switch works because I haven't really ever used a whole different interface. So here we go. Here's paint. And what did it give us? Did we get all our brushes for painting? No, we did not. Okay. Okay. So now we're on the paint deck. I'm gonna go ahead and no, get that away from there. I want this. There we go. Okay, and then we want that, and then we're gonna get some basic brushes. Should do it. Append, of course. Add to. Yes. Okay. There's our paint brushes. I don't get too fancy with the brushes at this point. We're gonna lay down some basic colors. I like the fact that comic book paints are comic book colors are typically solid, so I don't have to get all cute if I don't want to. I can just, you know, do it like that. Okay. So we'll go with this 12, right? Okay, so now the other thing about painting is, okay, so here is our inks and our whatever this is, our drawing. So let's go ahead and drop the inks into this folder because I don't want any separation between the inks and anything else. Okay, what is this? I don't know what 4 is, so we're just gonna put it in here. I don't like to delete stuff if I don't necessarily have to. So, but I like to clean it up. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this white tone so that we can see a little bit better, and that'll help. So really quickly, we're gonna. There we go. That'll help. Let's see here. I want a little more. I want to hear my music more. Sorry about that, guys, but I want to hear this so I can focus. Okay. Are we on it? Yeah, we're on it. We're doing it. I'm looking at the replay. Okay. So now we got the red, right? So, like I said, all my paints are underneath um, the pencils and inks. So it's easier to remember to do this. Now, also, I talked earlier about separating things on layers for the drawing aspect because of erasing and time and, the margin of error. I don't care so much about the separation of layers for the pencil part, but for painting, everything every color has its own layer. So I'm a big Neil Adams fan, right? Let's just do some basic Neil Adams colors for this, or the Neil Adams version of Batman. Let's go with that. Um, I played a crap ton of DC Universe Online. That is the MMO I'm probably decent at, I guess, be the best way to describe it, Um, and so interesting. We'll just do it like this. Make that bigger and make this closer. And we're gonna get in there and do it. And yes, I'm coloring. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you and act like I'm not. I don't. It's called painting because it's color, and you can do paint type effects, but I do not consider myself a painter in any real sense. I can color with a bit more panache than your average 4-year-old, but with way less enthusiasm. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like the one benefit I got from learning Photoshop was that my character creation on DC Universe Online is pretty nifty. Um, and then my knowledge of comic book history allows me to make some characters that people don't even get the reference because they're not up on their history like I am. So I have a Brain Thomas sitting in DC Universe Online right now, literally looking like the Batman from the future in the 1930s Batman comics, and people don't even get the reference that I'm literally talking about an actual character in the DC comic universe as my character. You know, uh, fun stuff like that. So much stuff, so much fun. So, um, I really like color because for the same reason I really like working in Photoshop in general. I was always sort of like, maybe I'm a perfectionist, even though I never really saw it that way. But I think I was such a perfectionist that the fear of not getting it absolutely perfectly right was so strong that I would rather not do it at all. And I don't know if you call that a perfectionist in any real sense of the term, because a perfectionist at least keeps working at it until they get it perfect, right? And I don't know if I was willing to do that. I was just ready to throw my hands in the air and stop trying because I was so discouraged by the idea that it wasn't going to be what I wanted it to be in my mind's eye. I don't know. I wouldn't call that a perfectionist. I would call that something else, something a little more harsh, to be quite honest. You know, um, but I always liked the idea of the color in comics. You know, I just considered it a skill that was beyond me, and I have to really say thank you to all the color theory classes I took in order to kind of get my basic layman's understanding of color. I want to do something different though. I know we're doing the Neil Adams kind of color motif, but part of me doesn't want to go all that gray. Part of me wants to do something else for the pants. So we're gonna do something else for the pants. Oh, but all right, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna separate the layer for the pants, and we're gonna. Okay, and so what we'll do here is make these the pants one, right? And go ahead and paint these bad boys, the gray. But I feel like I'm not gonna want that, and I want to do something different with the pants. Um, so we'll see. And that's the other cool thing about Photoshop. I can do multiple color studies on one layer. I mean, on one image, because I can always flip off a layer, turn around, try a different color, and then just keep mixing and matching until I find color combinations and stuff that I like. Again, even if you aren't super big into color theory, and I can't say that I'm super big into it, I have a basic understanding of it. You can still get past that by realizing that you can just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, and you never degrade the paper. You may have to purge all your cached strokes and stuff, but you know what? It's okay. As long as you kept your layers, you're all right. You are a-okay. So I want to do the Neil Adams sort of Batman gray, blue, and gold era Batman colors, but even as I start to go, I suddenly feel like maybe that isn't what I want to do. But it's not too late. That's the beauty of Photoshop. If you take nothing else away from it, Photoshop just means it's never too late. I mean, except for when it is, which is literally when you flatten your image. So the rule then becomes, if you want to still have a fighting chance, never flatten your image. Other than that, just do your best. Save often. Not like me. I'm that Final Fantasy Tactics player who had a 6-hour binge and then got into one fight, realized he never saved, and had to start back from scratch. Like that has happened to me. That is, I've had my heart broken, like that before. My current tactics game is on my cell phone. It's beautiful. My main dude right now is a monk who I'm thinking about making an archer as his his permanent, but I don't know. But I wish I could play that on Twitch, but it's boring to watch me play that game. But I will light your ass up if you challenge me on tactics. My dudes aren't ready yet, but when they're ready, they're unstoppable. I'm mean to people. I'm oppressive. All right, so there's our gray pants. This is gonna be basic color because it's getting late and I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I can't guarantee that I'm gonna come back and work on this anymore after tonight. So we're gonna do some basic color, and we're gonna do something. You know what? Speaking of that, yeah, pants won't be fine. Okay, but now I'm gonna show you why I do this the way I do it. Um, a seasoned Photoshop person might be looking at this going, wow, he sure does have a lot of gall not using the selection tool. But the reason I use the selection tool is I was sitting in Photoshop class thinking about what it means to work with a overhead projector with infinite transparencies, which is essentially what Photoshop is in a more full use of the program kind of sense. You're sitting in front of a projector with infinite transparencies. And I said, well, how come I don't ever use the program as a stencil for itself? And that is literally what I'm doing. Now I'm gonna cheat here. I think that color isn't as dark as I wanted it to be. So instead of repainting it, I'm just gonna make it darker. There we go. And then to save room, I'm gonna go like that. So there's effects in there. Oh, that's another thing I forgot. A new technique I keep forgetting that I added. Okay, so also, in order to make sure I get coverage, because I don't like using the select tool, it's like a whole step to the process that makes no sense to me in any logical way. So instead, everything gets stroked. There's a stroke on everything I do. And so now we're gonna copy layer style, and we're gonna make that smaller, and we're gonna paste layer style on the tunic, and you saw no change. That means that my coverage, my painting, covered a lot of it at the very least. Okay, and then we're gonna add a stroke here. Oh wait, something happened. Did we? Oh, did I do that? The stroke's there. So why did stroke? All right. Color overlay. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, I put the stroke on it because the edges are one thing. The pencil's there. Remember, I'm underneath the pencil. That's fine. But I noticed that when you put the stroke on the paint, when you have a spot in the middle that ain't right, it's glaringly obvious. It's easier to make sure you're covered. And since I don't want to spend 50 million years, let's see here. What was that? Oh, yeah. Deets. I'll do for now. Let's see here. Since I don't want to spend 50 million years figuring out the color, figuring out like the selection, I don't bother. I just go ahead and wait a second. Oh, that's right. I named it. Careful with that. Okay, so now you're going to see it from scratch. So two things. Every new layer of color goes under the last. So I'm creating a stencil with the colors already there, which means I don't have to be all that terribly careful. And as the work progresses, I can be even less careful. So it gives me a sense of momentum where as I keep going, I can go faster and faster and faster because the more color I already have laid down, the more stencils I have, and the more I can just flick across the screen and get full coverage without worrying about being so precise. So I start careful, and then eventually I'm just wild with it. And so here we go. Now, also, the inks aren't going to go anywhere, but I'll probably pop off the inks. So you can see there's going to be some spaces where I don't get full coverage with my paints. That's just, I don't give a shit. Because I know that at the end of it, I'm going to have the inks there. There are certain things about my art I actually love working on parts of artwork that no one's going to see. But I'm not an effing sadist. I know when I can take a much needed break in the action. But I will draw a tiny person that's sitting on a wall that I'm going to put a building in front of on a two-dimensional image that you have no human way of ever seeing that guy because he might as well have been erased. But I will do that because it's fucking hilarious to do that. It amuses me. I used to, I had perspective classes and make these big cityscapes, and people had no idea I drew all this shit back there, and you never saw it. I could give a shit. It's just hilarious that it's back there, and only I know it's back there. You know, but see, this also aids me in coverage. I don't have to worry about, you know, drawing on someone else's, or another aspect of the story or the characters. I don't have to worry about drawing outside the lines. I'm behind the lines. I'm literally drawing behind the other paint. Now, faces are tricky depending. And like right now, I should remember that I can zoom in and make this easier on myself. But when I get into a groove and I'm just going, if I can just go and not worry about it, then that's exactly what I'll do. And if it's a little more tricky, or I get a bunch of work done and then can go back later and sweat the small stuff, but I get the paints down to where at first glance it looks like it's okay, and I know that I can feel like I've accomplished a great deal, and then now when I stop and zoom in to make sure everything is tight, I don't feel like I didn't do anything at all. And of course, again, putting the stroke on the paint lets me know up front if, dude, you missed a spot. Like if I missed a spot, I can see it. I'm gonna make that gold right there, a little metal thing. Okay. And also, depending on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, the stroke on the paint helps me clean up at the end of the night because, I got a solid black line around my shit. And this is going to be like one of those really basic triple color kind of situations. I'm going so fast and I'm realizing that there's not much variation in the color that I might be able to give a little more TLC than I planned on because I will have the time to do it. But yeah, I'm totally coasting on this. Now, if I was thinking about this in a long term, I'm designing a character I'm going to use, since the boots would probably not match everything else like this. I would probably make the boots some kind of brown color because I love brown in costumes. One of the earlier books I ever got a chance to check out was called Grindel Prime and Grindel Warchild. And I love to see a Grindel movie one of these days. It's just such a hard story to pin down for a film. I don't know how you do that right. I just don't. Someone will come along maybe and do it, but I don't know how you do it. But Grindel in the future was like this badass mute ninja cyborg with a lightsaber and oh my gosh, my screen, my I'll just show you because you can see my desktop. My desktop. This is one of my original characters. This guy right here. Let's see if you can see it. I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Make sure you can see it. Come on. Go on. 4 second delay. That's a long ass 4 damn seconds. Come on now. Come on. Oh my God, that's a way longer than 4 seconds. I gotta adjust that. Or maybe I don't. My nipple might pop out. I might need that for that apparently 11 seconds. Okay, you can see that guy. That is one of my original characters. His name is the Raven Dark, and it's a long story. And in the first issue of New World of Metro PD, the backup story will be a Raven Dark story. But that design, that character design, this I got going on here, a lot of that is inspired by the first Grindel comic I picked up when I was, my goodness, 12, 13. However old you are, like in the seventh grade. I read Grindel Prime or Grindel Warchild. Um, and then also, Spider-Man fans might feel like there's a little bit of a Scarlet Spider in there, and you're probably right. I mean, the original costume the Scarlet Spider wore was pretty iconic, and yeah, I can see that. I love the drapery, personally. The stance isn't all that great to me. It's actually a 3D model to create that perspective. But then the drapery and the color and all that stuff is just me. But yeah, I think you can see that image on DeviantArt. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's my she's. That's how I get down. Um, and so I can't wait to do Raven Dark's book, which is not for quite some time. Each one of my books in the New World Chronicles series is 12 issues. And The Legend of the Raven Dark, which is like book 4 or 5, is book 4 or 5. You understand what I'm saying? So you got Metro PD, which is coming out uh, hopefully soon. I can't give you a deadline at this point. I just don't know. I'm looking for a regular job until I can start pumping out books and maybe selling them. Who knows? I can't count on selling the books, so I just can't make any guarantees. I gotta get the first issue out because people help me buy my monitor to make it. So the first issue is definitely gonna come out, and the first issue I'm gonna give to the people who help me buy my monitor because that's awesome of them. After that, I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the book will be out. Issue one will be out. After that, we'll see how it goes. Let's see. So it's not the cleanest thing in the world. But remember earlier, I left, especially down here, I left it kind of ratty. And as you can see, if it gets out of hand, the paint has its own stroke on it. So I can always decide if I want to let the paint define the edges and then go in and get rid of the excess pencil or vice versa. But yeah, and I can increase the stroke and make it thicker to give it more of a blocky look, or I can leave it as is because this picture is actually really big. It's like a 20-inch picture right now. You're looking at a huge MFN picture. Okay, so okay, I think to avoid any issues, we're gonna have to just go ahead and make our dude different than Batman another way too. So there is. I'm gonna call that cape. Okay. Okay. So the cape is done. Now let's go ahead and do our gold. I like gold. Okay, Slayer style. So there we go. There's that. And then now we're gonna. Gold is interesting. You can do all kinds of different golds. You can straight gold. You can make it like a deeper, like gold, like a gold coin, or you can go any way you want. But we're gonna just go with this gold right now. And also metals, you can have a lot of fun with your effects. I play with effects somewhat, but I don't. I try not to overdo it. A buddy of mine was saying you don't want it to look so photoshopped that it's obvious that it's photoshopped. And he's like, I'm like, you know what? That guy's got a good point. So I try and be a minimalist in terms of the bells and whistles of what I'm doing. Look how fast that was. See what I mean? At the end of it, I can just break the fuck out, you know? So there we go. Coverage, baby. Coverage. Oh, oh, oh. Remember, no faces yet. Now, okay. I usually say the face for last because remember, if I knock out all this other stuff and I got this stencil, the one place I don't want to have any glaring issues is the face. So now that the face is just like, let's just call it gold. There we go. Okay, so there's our gold. Okay, one more. Okay, now this is gonna be easy. Oh god, look at that. Look at that. Look at that shit right there. That's my favorite one. And we just call that whites. And I call it whites because there'll be a ton of things in some pictures that are just white, you know? And so you just call it whites, and it could be teeth, it could be eyes, it could be fingernails sometimes, you know, and then you're done with that one. Okay. There we go. Now we got one more. I think we all know what that is. Unfortunately, this pen doesn't work as well as my old pen, so it doesn't. I can't get it to bring up my thingamajig. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Oh, there we go. We're gonna go here and look at some of our flesh tones. And let's go with this one. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say that this guy is not Bruce Wayne. How about that? I talked that shit, didn't I? So this ain't Bruce Wayne, y'all. This is somebody else. This is. Oh my God! What if Batman was black? Son of a bitch. Son of a biatch. There we go. We got a black Batman now. Oh shit. Okay. 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 Now let's do some other Photoshop shit since we're sitting here, right? So we're gonna go face. Haha. So on the nose. All right. So now let's take a look at our guy. Fit screen. Uh, do one more good one for good measure, and then we can just. Uh, I'm looking at the friggin'. There we go. So yeah, there's our Batman. There's our black Batman. And then we're gonna we did that on Photoshop, y'all. It took us hours. I mean, we did take breaks and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and drink coffee and shit, but we did that shit. We did that shit. And that's Batman. That's black Batman for you. Okay. All right. Oh, we had another viewer pop in. I wonder who that is. Oh, I think that's a viewer. We got a viewer pop in to see Black Batman. That's right. Okay, so there it is. We started it. Well, let's see here. We can. Oh, I'm totally looking at my other screen, messing with the screen. That's so silly of me. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we can play with this, and you can see like kind of what we did today. Let's put a group together. You know what? The pen works way better for this kind of thing. I got a mouse that is like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, it's very important. This is a little trick that might frustrate you if you're getting into Photoshop. Like, I can only talk to people who've only been using the program for a short time or not at all. Anyone who's used this program for longer than any time is better at it than I am. I have to say that. Like, it's very important you understand that I'm not a Photoshop master by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, but that being said, One trick I learned is when you're grouping things together in a folder, and they have to be in a certain order. Don't create the folder and then close it and then drop your stuff in there because it'll drop in out of order and it might be hard to figure out the actual order they're supposed to be in. So the 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 idea of making the folder is to organize it and create space. So go ahead and leave it open, arrange it how you see fit while it's open, and then you can close it. And now they're in order. They're still there. You don't know how many times I toss stuff in a folder, and all of a sudden the colors look like a clown because remember, there's more brown paint on Batman's face than you see. It's literally behind that mask. So if I go in here to the face and move it up above the gold, you see it bleed over the gold and now over the cape. And now you see it bleeding over because it's literally behind that other color. That's just literally how that works. So just remember that. You'll do your thing and you'll be mad because it just looks like you spill paint everywhere all of a sudden. Um, that is for me painting without the selection tool. I don't know how useful that is for anyone else. I swear I don't because every video tutorial I've ever seen, I've never seen one that didn't use the selection tool to do what I just did with that much precision. I did this in Photoshop class, and my teacher just kind of thought it was a novel idea. I don't think he thought it was anything remotely useful enough to tell anyone else about. I can't call it. I feel like there's plenty of glaring mistakes in my artwork that I need to fix. Like now I'm using this pencil type brush, you can see it really close that it's pencil still. And so I might want to go in there and, clean that up at some point. But, you know, it is what it is. It looks like pencil, and I kind of dig that. The Alt button switches to zoom out, or you just hit fit screen, and then. Okay, so, well, there's Black Batman. Black effing Batman, baby. Um, remember, you can follow me on Twitter. Hey, how about this? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's just do this, huh? Let's just do this. Okay. Mm, how big is that? Should be pretty big. We're gonna just do this real quick. Follow me on Twitter at Dante R Maddox. Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and it's literally shift. It's literally, you guessed it, Dante R Maddox, and you're looking for the author, literally, because I wrote a book. Don't worry, it sucks. It's gonna be a comic book one day, but it's a terrible, terrible novel. Sorry about that. It does suck though. It's a shitty novel. Okay, um, and then my YouTube YouTube page, which you will see these 3 videos. I think 3 videos or something like that. Maybe tomorrow because my computer's still cleaning itself. YouTube page should be also, you guessed it. Caps lock. This keyboard is great, but it's also quite compact. There we go, Dante. Because the keyboard for the Fujitsu tablet is inaccessible when it's flipped over for me to draw, which is another reason why I can't wait for Tuesday when my monitor comes. Next to my YouTube page, you can search me on YouTube for Dante Aromatics. I have a page with a few subscribers. It'd be cool if you subscribe to my YouTube page, because I'm looking to get more people to see the videos that I have edited together for better. And then of course Twitch, you can find me. I'm the Blerdking. Yeah, I said that shit. You have no idea. You have no idea. You just know you don't want it. You don't want it, man. I'm telling you, the Blur King. And my Twitch channel is typically for video games, but I'm an artist. That's what I do. So, yeah, we did it. Yay! And oh wait, yeah, Twitch.tv. Search me. Okay. Hmm. So yeah, we made Batman. Now I could do some more embellishing with the paints. Like I could probably put in some more hues and darkness and stuff, but I think you got the idea on how we get down on this Photoshop thing. I think you got the idea. So I'm gonna save this like that. Always saving, and I probably haven't saved since like, oh my gosh, you don't even want to know how long it's been since I saved this shit. But come on, close, close, close. There you go. Okay, I haven't saved since like that, maybe before that. Now, I honestly think that's kind of cool. That this is what we're talking about at this point. Like you're gonna catch up with me. I'm gonna watch this, but man, there we go. These are the various stages. The various stages of friggin' look at that. That's how we started off. That was our Batman, and that's not how we started off. That was after some serious effort right there. We start off with even less than that. This is after the breakdown and after the friggin', first couple of tr- passes at it. This is some layers right here, boy. And then we inked that. No, we didn't. See the cape there? See that there's some steps where we omitted. But yeah, look at that. Look how far we got. Look how much difference we made. Like we did some work today. We did it. We did some work. And then of course we had the color. And there we go. We got it. We did some work there. We did some work. So tell your friends. Wait. Also. Oh man, how do I? It's something. It's my DeviantArt page. What is it? Okay, let's see. I might as well just get them all in there. I mean, I might as well. It's okay. It's all my name. Antair Maddox dot deviantart.com. There you go. There we go. And you know what? We're gonna upload this bad boy to DeviantArt. I'll put it on my DeviantArt. It's not finished. Not finished enough. And I'll put on it just like that. Just like this. So next time I will go on DeviantArt, maybe see people will see that and go, "Oh, that's cool." But thanks for sticking in here and hanging out with me and watching me do this today. It was fun. Gotta save again. Saving. Um, I wanted to play another video game before I went to bed, but it looks like that's just not going to happen. I'm at 43% of my free space drive, trying to get it all cleared out and cleaned out, man. Wasn't going to bed with that shit going like that. 43%. I've been at it for like 11 hours. Something ain't right, but I can't stop now because it's important. It'll give me so much more space and processing power, you know. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at, and you didn't even need to know all that information. But I told you twice. Okay, man, you better open up my Twitch. Oh, there you go. See, it gave me the finger over there. You've been watching the Blur King plays Photoshop, and I will see you next time.